Alright, it's iPhone 12 time and we have 3 of them here in the office today, and one of them is definitely missing, and that is the iPhone 12 Pro. So from the left here we have the iPhone 12 mini, the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Let's quickly unbox them and tell you my first impressions about them. So we have unwrapped all 3 plastic packaging of the iPhone 12s, and let's start off by talking about the iPhone 12 mini, because I think this is my personal favorite of all of this iPhone 12 series apart from the Pro Max, because it is kind of like the very first time that Apple is starting to go back to small phones again apart from the iPhone SE, because seriously the iPhone SE isn't exactly like a new phone per se, and I'm really excited about this. So this is the iPhone 12 mini. Let's take off this paper wrapping. Seems like Apple has gone pretty environmental friendly this time, because last time they used to have this plastic screen protector on it, and this time they're giving this white color plastic, whatever. So we do not have a charger anymore this time. As you guys already know, Apple is not including any chargers with all its new products. So we have a USB-C to lightning cable, and we don't even have earpods this time, so it's just leaflets manuals. All right, so let's put that away and let's start talking about the phone. Now, on first impressions, this is a really nice form factor. Really reminds me back of the iPhone 4 times, that the phone feels really small. It has this blocky form factor that actually feels good to hold. Feels very premium actually. So unlike the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 5s, the power button is now on the right side here, which I personally think is actually pretty nice to press on instead of just pressing on the top. Now, unfortunately, there's no Touch ID, which is expected because Apple is really promoting Face ID on this thing. So you do get the same size notch on the top that I personally think is a little obtrusive, but you will definitely get used after a while. So as a size comparison, this is the iPhone 5s, all right? It's not the SE, but the iPhone 5s. And if we compare it side by side, it is still slightly taller and slightly wider than the iPhone 5s, because this is definitely a much larger display at 5.4 inches. But one of the best things is that this is finally not an LCD display. Apple has actually fit in an OLED display on this phone. And now let's talk about the iPhone 12. Take it out of the box, and we are getting a white color version here. So same thing, you get a lightning cable inside and no earpods. So let's just check it out. Of course, it's just a slightly larger brother of the iPhone 12 mini. Still the great same form factor. This has a 6.1 inch display like the iPhone 11. As a size reference, I have the iPhone 11 right here, and let's snap it on and see how big it is. To be honest, the iPhone 12 is slightly less wider than the iPhone 11 if you look at it. That's because the iPhone 12 is not using a rounded corner like the iPhone 11, so that's why it makes it a little smaller. I'm actually liking this form factor a lot because it definitely feels better hold as compared to the iPhone 11. Right, and it's the same thing. You still get the same size buttons on the left side over here, and you get a power button on the right side. No headphone jack, of course. And yeah, finally we are going to unbox the Pro Max, the hero of all. And the color that we got over here is the signature Pacific blue color. You see that? This is the Pacific blue color of the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now, as I said, I'm really excited about both the iPhone 12 mini and the iPhone 12 Pro Max out of these 3 series. And this is the same frosted back that you get on the iPhone 11 Pro Max. And on the side here, you get this really shiny chrome kind of frame, which actually looks really good in my opinion. And now, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the largest iPhone that Apple has ever made, because if you compare it to the iPhone 11 Pro Max from last year, it kind of dwarfs it. Look at this. Do you actually see the size difference? It is significantly larger, taller, and if you compare the width, it's pretty much the same width, of course, but it's definitely taller. So if you're not a big fan of big phones, then this could probably be a challenge to hold. So I spent a couple of minutes setting up these 3 phones and playing around with them, and my personal favorite ultimately comes back to the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now, I have a reason to say that because I've been using the 11 Pro Max for the longest time, and this feels like a total upgrade over the 11 Pro Max. even though some of you might just say that, you know, it's a subtle upgrade, but to me, it's like a whole total new upgrade. That's because of the aesthetic. One of my favorite form factors that I haven't been seeing on phones for the longest time, because most phones tend to go for rounded corners like you see back on the 11 Pro Max, but this new blocky feeling just feels more premium, especially with this chrome finishing right over here. It really makes the entire phone stand out in front of a lot of people. But once you snap on the casing, I believe that the rounded corner feeling will come back. I'm sure about that. Now, I've actually tested the camera a little bit in this studio, and I personally find that the colors are slightly better than the 11 Pro Max, but I'm not trying to say that, you know, it's not a worthy upgrade, but there's more to find out when I ultimately put the phone to the real test in real-world environments. Now, I'm done talking about the 12 Pro Max, and there's definitely more to talk about in my full review, so stay tuned for that. And now I'm going to talk about the 12 and the 12 mini. Now, these two phones, to be honest, it's kind of a confusing choice if you were to ask me which one to go for, because the 12 has a slightly larger display, not to say slightly larger, but a much larger display than the 12 mini, 6.1 inches versus 5.4 inches. But you know what? My personal favorite still goes to the iPhone 12 mini if I were to pick between the two. Now, here's the reason why. Because one thing, I really like one-handed usability when I use the iPhone 12 mini. Look at this, you can finally like swipe across the springboard, the notifications shade, and the controls with just one hand. The one advantage that I actually find the 12 mini to be is a really great content creation phone. Now imagine if you are actually in a really challenging environment where you don't really have two hands to hold the phone, the 12 mini will serve as a really great content creation phone. See, let's say if I turn on the camera and I can just hold it like this and tap on the shutter button as soon as I want it, and it's just so easy to handle that you wouldn't drop the phone so easily. Now, another benefit about its size is that, let's say if you were to clip this onto a phone holder or a gimbal, it's just so convenient. Now, for example, this is the magnetic holder of my DJI Osmo Mobile 4, and if I just clip it in, just like this, there you go. It's pretty simple. It's really way easier to clip on a small phone onto such kind of phone clips rather than a big phone like the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So yeah, these are some of the benefits of the small phone, and I really like the small size of the iPhone 12 mini. So that's all for a quick look and first impressions of the iPhone 12 mini, 12 and 12 Pro Max. So personally, I will be doing a review of the iPhone 12 mini and the iPhone 12 Pro Max, whereas Yvonne will be doing a review of the iPhone 12. That's because she has the iPhone 11 and it makes sense for her to review the successor of her existing phone. So what do you think about the all-new iPhone 12 series? Do you like the design? Do you like the features that Apple has introduced on these phones? Do let me know in the comment section down below, and be sure to give us a thumbs up if you like what you saw, and share this video over to your friends if you like what you saw. I'm Warren with KLGadgetTV, and I will see you soon in the next video and the review of the iPhone 12.